All right, just finished doing the day 3 part of the Osmosis Lab and wanted to take a couple of minutes and just kind of explain the process that's going on here. So I have a drawing. This is our cup, here's our egg, and in the original day 1 we added vinegar. And our vinegar, let me see if I can make sure I'm watching this. Our vinegar, and pardon the poor graphics here, but our vinegar was 95% water molecules, H2O. A water molecule is an oxygen and 2 hydrogen molecules right up against it. It's a very small molecule. If you look at the periodic table, see if I can get my periodic table to come up here. If you look at the periodic table, hydrogen's up here in the corner. This is the smallest element. It's number 1 on the periodic table. Oxygen is number 8. And together, they make a molecule that's very small. If you go back to our discussion on moles in the chemistry videos, you'll find out that the waters are really small, and a mole of water is quite a bit. All right. The acetic acid in vinegar, because that's the other part, the 5%, the acetic acid is this huge molecule up here called CH3COOH, or C2H4O2. And that molecule looks like that. It is a huge molecule. Takes up much more space in the liquid than the water molecules do. So, in our experiment, what happens is that this acetic acid molecule reacts with the calcium carbonate in the egg, and it neutralizes. And actually, when this molecule reacts with the shell of the egg, what we get in the reaction is we get bubbles. You saw the bubbles, okay? The bubbles are carbon dioxide gas that goes up into the atmosphere. It's released. We also get as a byproduct, believe it or not, because look at all these H's and O's here. There's 4 H's, 2 O's, H2O. See that? We actually get as a byproduct of this reaction more water molecules coming off into our solution. Then as the shell went away, because inside here this is a minus, this is a hypotonic area where there was no water molecules, or there were fewer water molecules, all of the water molecules out here got invited to come in here because there were many more water molecules out here than there were inside this membrane. So, osmosis and diffusion both. It is the movement of molecules or elements from a high concentration into an area of low concentration. And then what happened as more molecules went in, we eventually reached a state where there were as many molecules inside as there were outside. And in this time, we would say that this was isotonic, or that it had reached, oh, big word here, equilibrium. Equal numbers of molecules on either side of the membrane. Now, when we added poured this off and added the distilled water, we had 100% water molecules instead of just 95. So we had more water molecules outside once again, and we were able to draw those water molecules inside the membrane and thus add more mass to our egg. So really briefly, that is what is going on here. So let's just go over this one more time. Whoops, can't do that because that's got notes on it. Let's find this side of our... All right, so In the original lab, our egg was let me move that over there. Our egg was hypotonic. That's our egg, hypotonic. There were less water molecules in here. When we had our, let me get my colored marker out here. When we added our liquid, either vinegar or water, and we had all these water molecules. These are our water molecules here. This area became hypertonic. Okay, so we had more water molecules out here than we did in here where it's hypotonic. Once the water molecules were drawn in, after the shell had been dissolved, this area now became what we call isotonic. Isotonic meaning that it was an equal number of water molecules, all these equal signs, equal numbers of water molecules inside and out. That's the whole purpose of this lab, is to just demonstrate osmosis and diffusion, and by adding the syrup that we did in day 3, we're actually going to draw water molecules, hopefully, back out and decrease the mass of our egg. So this is the what's going on inside of this as we do the lab. Stay tuned, however, because once the lab is over next week, I am going to do an after the lab, and we're going to see if these eggs actually bounce. That'll be fun. Stay tuned.